Venom is the latest set play zoner added to Strife. He has what feels like limitless options for what he can do when he has time to set up, but in practice he can be a much more simple character. He does have strong space control tools, including probably the best super for neutral, good pressure, and looping high-low left-right Oki, but has the trade-off of low damage and situational confirms, especially when he doesn't have anything set up. Venom's 5p is fairly stubby, and while it can anti-air decently, it's easier to stuff when compared to others, especially when they're a bit spaced. 2p is generally a low reward option. It's best to use this as your mash option rather than a neutral tool. Since 5p isn't a great anti-air, you'll be relying on 6p more often, just be careful about throwing it out since it has a good amount of recovery. 2k is a really solid poke, especially when paired with a dash, but it doesn't have any low profile frames. 5k may be his best normal. While it's 7 frame startup, it has 8 active frames, and with the dash cancel ability, it will give better opportunities when paired with the ball set or dash BRC. And since there's only 6 frames of recovery, it's really hard to punish, though the animation is a bit deceiving. While his 5k is nice in the close range, Far Slash and 2S will be the go-to mid-range pokes. Far Slash has great range and a slight disjoint, but as a trade-off, it's slightly slower than average at 11 frames and has lower reward on hit. 2S has good range, a bigger disjoint, 6 active frames, and can't be low profiles, so this is another very useful poke. If you need a little extra range, giving a little dash momentum is a good idea. 5H is pretty stubby and slow, and is a complete disjoint that even hits behind, but it will mostly be used with a ball set rather than as a poke. 2D is a double hitting low with 9 active frames, letting you cover the mid-range with the low effectively. It also has low profile from frames 7 to 28, letting you avoid and potentially punish a number of strong neutral options. This is generally the go-to cancel option from 2k and 5k, but it may not combo without dash momentum near max range. JP is a good air-to-air option, especially since it's 5 frames. JK is a great rising air-to-air as it specifically targets up forwards. This will be very useful with ball sets too. JS is a more generally useful air normal and has a cross-up hitbox, letting it be useful for mix-ups. JH is a more focused attack for jump-ins, but not having a cross-up hitbox. This is a more reliably plus from IEDs, but IED FD JS is also strong. JD is a bit of a unique normal since it's a multi-hitting dive kick. This won't be used in neutral much, but is an important tool for offense. Ball set changes where the ball goes depending on the button pressed, with P going at your feet, K at about hip level, S above your head, and H at about the same level as K, but farther forward. Half circle forward K places them all down in less time than manually doing all 4, but is more vulnerable since it has the total duration of almost 2 ball sets. And once you have a ball set, trying to place another one where it already exists will delete one that exists and make a new one. QV is similar to ball set, but you make an explosion at a set distance, then the ball travels to the same spot as it would from a normal ball set. It can also be uncharged, slightly charged, or fully charged, leading to larger hitboxes and more damage. The uncharged QV gives a soft knockdown, but both slight and fully charged QV give hard knockdowns. This is your main combo option from Far Slash and 2S. Keep in mind there is a dead zone, so be careful about throwing it out. Stinger is his basic projectile, which knocks them down and away on hit. They can also be charged to make the ball bounce off the wall and set itself up to be hit again. The strike hitbox of Stinger nullifies projectile, so it will commonly win projectile wars if timed well. H-Stinger is the faster and more threatening option, but has a lot of recovery and will be negative on block unless really far away. S-Stinger is a few frames slower and has the ball move slower, but has 8 frames less recovery and is generally more plus on block since you recover quicker and the ball hits later. Even point blank you're only -2, where H-Stinger is -13. Full screen H-Stinger is +1, where S-Stinger is +24. Carcass Raid bounces the ball off the ground with an active hitbox. H-Raid is used much more often since it has significantly less recovery, letting it be useful for neutral, combos, and pressure. These can be done in the air too, which I would also say H-Air Raid will be used much more often, but this time for the speed and angle. And same as Stinger, all versions of Carcass Raid can be charged for more speed and damage. If you're still charging it when you hit the ground, it will place it on the ground inactive but still able to be hit, but it will go away if you do Stinger of the same button. Dark Angel is an incredibly strong super that controls the neutral as a huge disjointed projectile that is incredibly plus and gives a full combo if they get hit at any point by the super. You can even push them out of the super to try to frame trap them or even sneak in a command grab while they think they're stuck in block stun. In the close range, Dash 2k, Space Controlled 5k, and 6p are all strong options. Even 2p can be useful trying to stuff approaches if you feel you need to use a 5-frame option. In the mid-range, Far Slash and 2S are your longer range pokes to stuff approaches, while 5k, same as close range, can use the 8 active frames to cover space with low recovery. And as a zoner, you'll generally want some space, so backdashing and IED back are fine options too. IED back H air raid is also a great option since it lets you retreat with a hitbox while being very hard to punish. Once you have space, ball set or stinger are the go-to options, but don't forget IED JS and JH are solid approaches too. Like I mentioned before, stinger is the basic projectile, and mixing and matching between S and H stinger is strong. Start to get a feel for which combinations work well against different opponents since everyone has their own habits. Mixing in charge stinger while they wait to dash block lets you hit it again with far slash into stinger, punishing their patience. S stinger into ball set is a nice option since it covers the grounded space while you set up, and can follow up with hitting the ball into another stinger. When you have the space, K set into far slash rinse and repeat can be a low to medium risk way of controlling the mid-range while giving you the option to approach if you want. As you get closer, 5K is the better option since you can dash cancel to approach with it. Since stinger and raid both use charge inputs, make sure to charge with down back. This way you can do up back with S or H while keeping the back charge to do forward with S or H after. I've always been a fan of using BRC and neutral in general, but with K ball set, hitting a ball then dash BRC gives you an active hitbox with all the benefits of BRC, making it incredibly powerful. If they block, you're more than plus enough to run up an instant JD for an overhead or threaten 2K and 2D for lows. Or just auto-confirm into typical crusher strings. Going right into 6K, then ball set lets you frame trap with close slash or 2K, go for a command grab, JD, or get a combo on hit. While you won't get all the benefits of BRC, doing 5K or far slash into wild assault is another strong option since it's the only way you'll get a meterless combo from far slash besides QV. Doing 6P into QV is a nice way to cover the ground and the air at the same time, but they both have dead zones, so don't overuse this. Once a ball is set and hit, it will become an active hitbox for a little over 1 second or until it makes contact, then inactive for 1 more second before disappearing. During the active or inactive phase, it can be hit again to reset the timer. This can make things like looping dash 5P let you approach with an active hitbox in front of you. It's pretty simple, but low risk and effective. Since the game counts it as you hitting something, you can special cancel or even dash cancel it from a 5K. K set into 5K dash cancel is another easy way to have some protection as you approach. It is important that the ball stays in front of you so it can actually protect you. But it will trade with other standard projectiles, which is great, especially when you cancel the ball into Stinger, letting you win practically every non-super projectile war. Stinger by itself can do this, but it's nice that both options can nullify projectiles. Here's a quick overview of what the angles, different normals from K-set looks like. Every one of these is useful, but you'll likely be doing the ones that go straight forward, or the 6P angle most often. Looping K-set into 5K then 5P lets you control the mid-range very well, with relatively low recovery or downtime. The main options that have to use are low-profile options or IEDs, but since it's low recovery you can react in 6P, or the balls might hit them out of their movement. But K-set into 6P by itself is a strong anti-air option, which is good to pair with Stinger zoning. This gets even better when you special cancel into QV to quickly cover the mid-range while setting up another ball. It's also worth mentioning that hitting the ball then canceling into Stinger can give some extra coverage, having the ball bounce covering a wider area. P-set is not used as often in neutral, but it is great against characters that have low profile options. 2K, 2S, and 2D are the best options from P-set. And since you'll be doing crouching normals, you can charge H-raid and cover an anti-air angle quickly after covering a low profile angle. But dashing behind a looping 2P is similar to the 5P, but won't lose to 6P or the low profiles. Going into raid can give some nice defensive angles, but they're slow and you can't cancel it into anything like from normals, so it's not as great. H-set really only sets up far slash or Stinger, but can give some more unique bounce interactions. I find S-set to be the most fun since it gives you much more control over how you move around while threatening multiple angles. Starting simple, JP is a quick low recovery option. The trade-off being it doesn't cover a large range, making it harder to hit them in the active window. But since you can cancel it into air raid, it gives you a way to prevent being air-to-aired while covering a strong angle while even setting up combo potential. And Dash Jump JP lets you move it forward to give access to other air options, giving much more freedom for how you control the ball. JK is the better version of this, but has more recovery and a larger hurt box, making it easier to trade in air-to-airs. But this is very important to use preemptively against IED attempts, and it can even trade against air projectiles that may be annoying during Stinger zoning. Same as JP, this straight angle with dash momentum lets you pair with JS or JH to approach behind a protected angle. Even JS into JH works to set up a strong approach. Dash into IED back is a good way to cover the important angles with low recovery and without giving up space. Pairing it with air raid can let you cover both the air and mid-range at the same time. While Stinger zoning is strong, just doing H-Stinger over and over is very vulnerable to IEDs. Mixing in S set into JK H raid is a very strong preemptive option. If they're dash blocking in and even try to react, they'll get hit out of the air-to-air attempts and get stuffed out of grounded pokes, and if they block it, you'll be safe. There is a danger zone of them getting too close, making air raid whiff, leaving you in counter hit recovery, but you do have the option to charge air raid to have it come out lower if you can react to this. But in general, S set then JK into H raid is one of the strongest neutral options he has, since it covers two of the most important angles at the same time. Using H raid to get a ball out faster than normal set is also good to know. You do have to be more precise about how you time hitting the ball, since sometimes you may just whiff, so make sure to practice the timing. It's one of the fastest ways to catch full screen jump height, just like ID back H raid, but generally, treat it like a faster startup K set. For quick pokes like 2P, going into PQV, then 2K is a quick, hard to punish option. From dashing options like 2K and 5K, use the threat of frame traps and lows from 2D as a way to go for tick throws. When a bit closer, going into 6K pulls them in for a command grab. But if you want this to be effective, you'll have to learn to start holding down as soon as you input 6K, so you'll be able to charge for H raid as a true string or frame trap option. Unfortunately, if they are preemptively FDing, it can be a little risky to go for this option, but you'd more likely be doing it close from pressure already. And while it's not likely they'll do it, FDing will make H raid hit later, letting them mash out of it. This can either hit a quick option like 2K or a bigger punish like 2D. But if both hits of 2D connect and are FD'd, then you'll be spaced out enough to be safe, and you should be able to react at that point to just do QV instead and frame trap. With enough dash momentum and being close enough, FD won't save them from the command grab threat. When doing close slash pressure, first hit 2D into H raid is safe and +9. Doing both hits of 2D will leave a mashable gap even without FD. Alternatively, you can do 2H, which does have the first hit low too, and frame traps. It has great reward on counter hit, so having the auto frame trap with a command grab threat is nice. Same as 2K without dash momentum, close slash 6K is unlikely to connect. If it does, you can threaten 2S into Stinger or QV, or even a dash up button if they still seem scared. Close slash 6K H raid into close slash again can be true string if they don't FD. 6K also easily sets up the command grab, especially if they don't FD. When poking with far slash and 2S, PQV sets up 2K to launch the ball at an angle difficult for them to contest. PQV into 2D is also a good angle to launch it. KQV sets up 5P or 5K into another ball set. 5K jump back or IED back air raid is also a good retreating option. A bit more risky is 5K IED JH to steal a turn. 5K dash cancel to have a little protection on a reapproach is nice. Or 5K into ball set to go into another setup. And use 5K into Stinger to catch jumping and stay grounded. Use far slash into QV to catch dash block and set up another ball. SQV sets up JS air dash to steal a turn. Dash jump JS is a little safer. Or even just JS into air raid. JHJD can set up a wall while you charge Stinger or raid. Just JD into held air raid sets up a ball as you land for 2K or 2D. And just air raid can cover multiple angles too. Dash IED back JS is a nice way to cover a retreat. You don't even have to use the ball immediately, but save it to cover airspace later. And 6H is a giant button that is nice to be backed by a ball since you can whiff cancel it. HQV is mostly useful when spaced out, so you can quickly threaten them with far slash. When pressuring with JD, make sure to hold down during it so you can do H raid once you hit the ground to be +9. From 2P, Gatling into itself, then 6P for a soft knockdown into a setup. To keep it easy and consistent, 2P into H Stinger works well too and sends them full screen. 2K 2D into H Stinger is a good way to reset neutral, same as from 2P. But charging during 2D into H raid lets you combo into 5K 6H for a hard knockdown. You can replace 5K with close slash to be a little more optimal. It's important to know that 2D into H raid won't always work when you do both hits, so if you're ever unsure if it'll connect, just do the first hit of 2D into H raid and it should work practically every time. But you can always just stop at 2D and take the knockdown. For close slash, 2H into QV is a simple and consistent route. When close, first hit close slash into 2H then H raid lets you run up close slash again for an extension. For far slash and 2S, uncharged QV or H Stinger are the main combos. For raw 2H, it's similar to the close slash 2H routing being one of the more optimal starters. When doing JD, charge down during the attack so you can do H raid once you land, then 5K or close slash 6H for the knockdown. You can add on partial charge QV, which keeps the hard knockdown and adds a bit more damage, but spaces you out more. The fully charged dust combo is H, jump HS, HS, HH. For mid-screen command grab, close slash IED JH for some corner carry, then end however you like. In the corner, close slash, jump back, delay JS, JH to keep them from bouncing out of the corner. A simple corner steal is 5k dash cancel 6k. If you're a bit further away, then just go right into 6k. For a lot of corner carry, 5h into ball set, then dash up close slash. Since 5h has a tumble effect, using it after the main hits of Dark Angel gives you a lot of corner carry while letting the missile still combo. The easiest way to combo to Dark Angel is with close slash, 2h right into super. If you get a counter hit 2h, do fully charged KQV into dash 5k for an extension. Counter hit 2D can mess up the routing since they won't pop up into the air at the same timing, so be careful. You can fix this by just delaying the H raid, or just skip the raid entirely and do either a 5k or close slash based on how far you are. When poking with far slash into QV, convert with RC into 5k dash cancel since it leaves you enough gravity to do another 5k into close slash for an ender. Doing HQV can also work and will keep them high up, but you may want to just stick with the dash cancel into close slash for consistency. From a tap dust RC, fully charged dust into the same extension works well. A simple Oki setup for a spaced out 2D knockdown is H-raid into 5k dash cancel. This should leave you between plus 20 and plus 30 while staying safe to reversals, letting you easily start pressure or a combo. Instead of going right into close slash, you can do JD to potentially catch them off guard. When you're closer and route into a 6H knockdown, the same setup works. Since you're spaced out more, it'll leave you even more plus, and potentially let you even get an ambiguous left-right. While getting safe pressure started is nice, doing dash jump JS lets you set up a high-low with land 2k versus delayed JD. Another way to go into mix-ups is by doing K-set into 5k IED. This will give you same side or cross-up based on the use of AirFD and spacing on the knockdown, while essentially giving you a high-low on both sides. From throw, a basic setup is K-set into 5k dash cancel, similar to the H-raid setup, but it's important to note that while it does meaty and catch most smashes, it will be vulnerable to 6p. You can block and punish, but it's generally better to not have to worry about this. So instead of K-set, P-set, or doing H-raid like before works better. Thought it was worth mentioning K-set does work, but it has a major flaw. Also, if they wake up backdash, the ball won't reach and punish, but just doing close slash after the dash cancel will punish it. For some safe jumps, microdash super jump can work, but it's a little difficult to get it right. Backdash IEDJH also works and is more consistent. In the corner, OTG 2D into H-raid for an easy safe meaty. Now for QV, the fully charged version is great, but not really that practical to combo into. Instead, the partial charge version still gives a hard knockdown and sets a ball at the same time, which is very useful. A simple setup is to end with the partial charge K version, then 5k IED into JD or MT2K. Or do dash 5k then jump cancel to set it up, both work fine. But doing the dash 5k does leave you closer, giving access to air dash into cross-up high-lows. You can mess with how long you dash for to make the air dash ambiguous as to which side you'll end on. And as always, adding AirFD is generally useful since it'll give you more control on where you want to land and make you land faster. You can use the S version of QV, then dash jump JS air dash for another ambiguous left-right high-low. The dash 5k IED Oki does still work from longer combos too, so pick your favorite. When wall breaking with super, H-Stinger is nice since it gives a delayed meaty since the ball bounces back, but they can just jump away. If they don't have reversals, IED FD JS is good, but fast reversals will beat you. The goals before moving on to the intermediate video are to have a good grasp on each of the interactions your attacks have on each ball set, have used multiple setups in neutral and in pressure to start to fit a game plan you like, be able to loop high-low mix-ups on Oki, and have combos down for highs, lows, and command grabs. Thank you for watching.